Welcome to Bond STX, week 16, April 18th to April 22nd. Going to go through some scans that I did this week and go through some charts. That's my standard pattern. And so a disclaimer before I get started, I am not a financial advisor, nor am I advising anyone to spend their money. This is only for educational purposes and only my opinion. Any money spent is at the individual's own discretion and not due to any information from me. So let's go ahead and get started. A good week ahead. We just had a short week coming out of the Good Friday, Easter short week. And so let's look at the charts on, starting out with the NASDAQ, to see where we were last week and coming in this week. So I'm shooting this video really in the mornings before market on Tuesday. And had an Easter weekend, so a little behind on shooting this video. But coming into the week, see a little bit of a support coming in from the NASDAQ. See the market's been very much overbought, so the market's pulling back down. So expect to see the market start to pull around later on this week. I'm not sure if any special announcements coming into this week, so I expect the week to be a little bit greener coming in. Definitely see an opportunity for the market to pull back up. Pretty much would be flat from last week, maybe a little bit lower than the expectation last week. But we see last week, my expectation was to be a little higher, actually came down a little lower last week on the short week. See definitely a support line. It came through, bust through actually yesterday. That was Monday for this week. And so we'll expect to see a pullback into the market, pulling up. It's on the lower cake band of the market. So the market's kind of outside of the zone that it wants to be in, but not much out of the zone. Looks like it's falling back down to support from back from March 17th support line. So let's see if it can hold there and pull back up today. We'll see, but it looks like the market is definitely in a downtrend. We're in a bearish pattern. I don't expect to stay in that bearish pattern, but we'll see. It's definitely an opportunity for the market to get in at some cheap prices on some stocks. So got some good call outs this week. Looking at the New York Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange is still in the cake range. Definitely overbought. So you see a pullback pretty strong coming back down. But the New York Stock Exchange is definitely in a better place than the NASDAQ. And so we see, again, the crossover happened a couple weeks ago. Short week last week, definitely flat. You see the market pull right back into where I expect it to be. Just right at the bottom of that zone that I called out there. And so I would expect it to come down just a little bit more than that on the New York Stock Exchange. You know, I expect a little bit of a pullback this week. You look at the SMA, pretty flat. And so definitely below the SMA. So we expect it to come back and attack that SMA here soon. And so we expect that to happen this week. So let's get into the call outs for this week. Couple good stocks moving strongly: AT&T, General Dynamics, Kellogg, Fastly. Definitely don't see anything in the charts that indicate a good buy opportunity. So I'm gonna scroll down, come down to the first one on the week. For me this week is Carnival. Carnival Cruise Line is gonna be the first stock I call out this week. Got it on here as a long-term play. I haven't called out Carnival this year. It'll be the first time I've called this one out. So going to analyze this one kind of overall. So Carnival, as far as looking at the cake band, see how much it's been in the cake. So it likes to stay, looks like from June of last year, it stayed in the cake all the way to November of last year. And then it's been pretty much below that, kind of touched into it here and there, January, February timeframe. You can just see this SMA band again, which I like to look at as a trend line. You see it attack it here, bust through it here, attack it here. Didn't quite bust through. So expect to see a bust through of the cake of the SMA, similar to what we see here, to be above that. So that's kind of what we see going on here. So looking at the oversold, overbought, you can see where it's starting to come back down, but it's still above the midline of the MACD. So looking at a little closer, I know I've got a lot of lines here, so bear with me. But looking at the kind of the trend it's on, I do have it moving in very slightly kind of moving at a flat for the month. But here in the last couple of weeks, I do see it moving slightly in an upward pattern. So I do see kind of this ping-ponging back and forth action here. And I do see an opportunity where it needs to cover some manipulation here. So we see on April 5th, 68 million shares bought at the price point of $20 all the way up as high as $21. So $20 to $21 range. We see a lot of shares being purchased. And where is it at now? It's below that range. So great opportunity to get in, to come back and match that coverage. And so zooming in a little bit closer, we'll kind of see where we're at. So coming into the week, I projected a good price point would be at $19.04. That's what I'm going with this week, with an opportunity to move into the range of $19.58. Again, at the best case, moving in at 2017 to cover that manipulation back from April 5th. It's a 5.9% gain. So not a bad gain. Looks like based on yesterday's market, it did come down to my price point. It's a great opportunity to get in. Teal is above the green slightly still. So it's not quite bearish, but it's really close to being bearish, but it's more bullish than anything else. But it's also pretty flat. Opportunity to be really flat coming in again to this week. But I think a great opportunity to come back and cover this ground in the next couple of weeks. If not this week, definitely next week. Potentially, I would say the worst case, May 5th, it would come back and cover this. Best case, we're looking at April 25th, which would be next week. So definitely get in this week, would be a good price. So I'm going in at 1904 with Carnival. All right. Locking that one in. Next on the list, we have Luminar Tech laser. Again, another stock that I've called out multiple times this year, coming in at a flat long-term play. 20 cents on sale, $14.72 is the true value for laser, as I like to call it. It's a autonomous camera vehicle company. They make parts, and I think they've got some contracts with some German car manufacturers at this point. So laser we've called out a couple times this year, and it looks like previously call outs kind of shot a little low on the call out here. Definitely moved very strongly that week. Called out again a little low, never came down, and kept pushing strong that week. So third try, maybe is a charm. And so called it out at 1409. Looks like yesterday's numbers came down to 1396, ended out at 1396. So definitely a good opportunity to get in at 1409. I see this has definitely had a pretty repeatable pattern. And so zooming out real quick, again, it's been attacking the SMA, actually been right below the SMA consistently. And we see it bust through, attack the SMA, didn't hold strong above it, kind of resisted it, pulled back, and we see another opportunity for attack and pull through, push through the SMA much stronger this time. So we're just gonna kind of catch that wave and kind of actually catch it and pull back up. And so I would say it's definitely below, more in a bullish pattern than more in a bearish pattern, than it is a bullish pattern. But I do see some coverage on the from an opportunity from some manipulation. So on April 5th, we see 5.5 million shares bought in the range of 15.5 to 16.3. So quite a bit of opportunity to cover that manipulation on the upside. And we see an opportunity potentially this week, again, going in at 1409, potentially at the lowest, 5.96% at 1494. Best case next week, you can see it get cross at April 28th. You can see it come back and cover, and that's about a 10.04% gain. So great opportunity going in with laser this week at 1409. That's my call out. Lock that one in. I think, again, a good opportunity to get in this week for potential next week for another couple week gain. All right, MGM Resorts comes in at a short-term play this week. MGM Resorts is flat this week, coming into this week, 63 cents overpriced, coming in a true value of $40.97. So let's go to the charts on MGM Resorts and see where that looks like. So this is the first time I've called this one out for this year. Definitely has a very readable pattern. Definitely see why traders would love to have this stock in their portfolio. If you look at the cake band, it stays mostly in the cake than not. Here lately, it's definitely fallen below the cake, but you can see a very stable kind of support line. You see support around the 37.86 price point pretty consistently. And as of late, I would say we can see some coverage and manipulation that has not been covered back on February 10th. So we see 10 million shares come in, buying at the price point of $46.94, all the way up to $48.97. So $46 to $48 price point coverage that we know at some point in the near future it's going to get covered. Don't think it'll happen this week for sure, but just something to look out for if you plan on holding this one a little longer. Looking at the SMA, we see it moving pretty flat here. Definitely want to see it attack the SMA again, as it typically does. So attack, push through, come down, attack, and slight push through. So I would say definitely on the lower side, you catch another attack, push through here in the next couple of weeks. But I definitely think in this week, one of the things I did notice just a little bit of a pattern here as on the pullback, last pullback, strong pullback, we'll see a dip down like this, and then we'll see a pull up. So we see that action happening. We expect to see that same action on the pull down. So I indicated these two with the blue arrow sideways, that there's an opportunity to actually see the same pull back up to push through the SMA. So we see this pull down. So I'm thinking this week definitely could get in at $40.60 and for a pull back up this week to push against this blue EMA line of about 2.1% gain this week. So I think looking at the MACD, definitely moving in our favor. Definitely an opportunity for it to come down. See, Monday looks like it did pull down some, didn't pull down quite as much, but we see it takes 2 days typically to get down to the low point before it pulls back. So this would be yesterday would have been the first day, and so this will be the second day. So we expect today, on the Tuesday, on 419 for it to come down to 40.60. Take an opportunity to buy it there, hold it out to Friday, and possibly next week if you'd like to hold a little longer and get some money out of MGM Resorts. So 40.60 is where I'm going this week. Locking that one in. $40.60. All right. Next one for the week is Macy's. Macy's comes in, another stock, third stock so far that I have not called out this year, but Macy's comes in as a -2. So coming in at a slightly downtrend, 64 cents overpriced, a true value of $25.16. Have it on here as a short-term play. I have been tracking Macy's for quite a while, waiting for an opportunity to get in. Looking at Macy's stock on a 1 year, 1 day, and looking at the cake range, you can see it's been a steady growth stock since this time last year. You can just see the SMA steady going up. Again, I like to look at the SMA as a trend line, and steady going up, which is a good sign. And we see Macy's above the SMA for the majority part of last year. But as of late, we can see since beginning of this year, very steady trading action happening on Macy. So we look at the cake band, it's above top band of the cake, below top band of the cake, below top band of the cake. So indicated 3 circles here, indicating it's touched the top band of the cake 3 times this year. Actually in early January, happened again February 22nd. It's happened again March 22nd. So we're saying once per month so far. And so we're still in April and it hasn't done it yet. So we expect potentially in April it would do the same thing. And so one sign I would say to be concerned about, all these happened prior to it breaking below the SMA, these two. As it pulled below the SMA in March, it actually came back strong. And I don't know if that was a fake pump. Don't see a lot of volume coming in there, but I do see it fall below the SMA again, a little higher than before, which is a good sign. But just be aware that it could come in a little lower and not hit until possibly May. But I would say in this week, definitely an opportunity to get in. I feel comfortable at 24.75. The opportunity to get out on the lower cake band, 2.6% by Friday. So I would say 24.75 is where I'm going in with Macy's. I do see it as far as the EMAs. The teal did pull down a little bit off the blue. Definitely want to see it come through the blue. See the green and the red still above the blue, which is a good sign, but we definitely want to see the teal above the blue. And that'll pull into a more bullish pattern. So 24.75 is where I'm going in with Macy's this week. 24.75. Locking that one in. Next on the list, scrolling down again, I'm getting into some lower trends, but a couple opportunities. And we have another stock, Opendoor, that I have not called out before. So Opendoor is a real estate tech company that deals with real estate a little differently than some of the other companies, kind of, I guess, competitors to Zillow. But Opendoor comes in at a -2 trend, 43 cents above price, comes in at $8.40 true value. So a little overpriced. I have it as a long-term play, good opportunity to get in at these prices. So I want to show you what pulled out with Opendoor. So Opendoor, 1 year, 1 day. Again, I haven't analyzed the stock prior to this call out week. Definitely see some weird trends with Opendoor. So you see it way below the SMA coming into this, I guess, the May, August timeframe, and then kind of supported on the lower band of the cake. And then it pushed up really strong above the cake, above the SMA. So way overvalued, way overpriced. You see it come way back down. So these are like really rangy prices. A lot of manipulation in this stock. You can see price range, volume range of 60 million shares. We see shares of 45 million. And as of late in February 25th, we see 55 million shares. So a lot of days where a lot of volumes coming in, hitting the stock, buying it at low prices, and watching it rise up. So some opportunities here. Again, I mentioned there's some manipulation days here, so some coverage that needs to take place. And so we've got on February 24th, 33 million shares bought at the range of $10.88 to $8.67. So that's a very, very manipulative day. We see this manipulation from 55 million shares covered here. So that manipulation already been covered, meaning this price point has already been matched, and most of the shares have probably already been sold out at this point to make their money back out that bought in this range here. And so that one's been covered. So we're now waiting for this coverage to happen potentially, hopefully in the near future, potentially at the best case in May 3rd. But in this week, I think there's a great opportunity to cover some manipulation. Zoom out just a hair. Cover some manipulation here. And it looks like Monday, looks like it came right down to my price point. So I'm thinking $8 even is a good price point. Like it came down to $8 and pulled back to $8.24 at close. But I do think getting out this week, probably at $8.81 range. So looking at a 10% gain in Opendoor. So great opportunity for this stock to grow this week. And also, like I said, by May 3rd, if it can come full circle to cover the manipulation back in February, looking at a 37% gain. So a lot of opportunity here at Opendoor. You can see the MACD moving in the great direction, pulling down slightly below the midline here, but great time to kind of load up on Opendoor. Be aware that there is a earnings report on May 5th. So be definitely hesitant to hold it through that earnings report if you're not expecting it, if you're not ready for a pullback. But definitely a lot of opportunity to Opendoor. I like this company coming in this week at $8 even. So that's where I'm going with Opendoor. All right. Moving on to the next one. Another stock that I have not called out before. So interesting week. I typically have my favorites or have been calling out similar stocks from week to week. So Nike, for those who are into athletic wear, athletic apparel, Nike's coming in at a -2 trend, again, a slight downtrend. It's $2.47 overpriced. And so true value of $130.99. And so Nike's been one I've been tracking for a while. Haven't seen any great opportunities before this week. So this is a great week to get into Nike based on what I'm going to show here. So Nike, looking at it 1 year, 1 day. Again, I haven't analyzed the stock this year. And we see another interesting stock that shows a lot of manipulation. Hard to find where the true value is. And so looking at this one, the first thing that stands out to me, going back to June of last year, the stock had about 46 million shares purchased the day after earnings report call. And the price went literally from 133.55 to 153 in a day. And so you see it was kind of riding the SMA and then jumped above that SMA, jumped to above the cake. It went from below the cake range to all the way above the cake range in a matter of a couple of days, and stayed above that, pulled back, supported the SMA, pulled up again, went to a high of 179.10 on November 5th, came down. I believe most thought it would hold support on the SMA, but it pulled down through the cake, all the way down through the cake, and it came all the way down to a low of 116. So with all the economic concerns, stock market pulling down, guess who came down with the stock market? Nike trades on the New York Stock Exchange, and it came down with most other stocks as well. So Looking at the MACD, does seem to have a more bullish positive trend on the MACD. Again, it's in a -2 trend lately, but I do over the last month, but I do see some opportunity over the last couple of weeks to actually see this one move up. So just taking a kind of a trend line here and seeing how it can move, how it possibly can come back and make some coverage. So we see a coverage opportunity for some manipulation of 137.88. So we see about 7 million shares come in on March 31st. It has not been covered. And so I see an opportunity to cover this manipulation this week. So we see 12 million shares come in on April 14th. And that was the Friday before the Good Friday. Then we see yesterday, stock did come down slightly. I would expect to see, let me zoom up slightly, expect to see the stock come down, feel comfortable buying in at 128.89 with the opportunity to get out at 131.17 this week. So it's about a 1.7% gain, at the best case 3% gain. If you can get a little higher, get a little bit more momentum. Do see this manipulation here that needs to be covered back and before it pushes forward strongly. So some may believe that this one may be a long-term play. I'm not a big fan of apparel stocks. They kind of tend to be a little more seasonal with athletics and sports. And so with the summertime coming up, it could be a good couple months stock to hold, but I would definitely expect it to come back and to attack this SMA. I see that at best case with previous historical trends and SMA at this point. It looks like May 20th at the earliest, we could see that come back and attack the SMA, get right back into that midway of that cake zone. So good opportunity for Nike if you're a big believer in apparel stocks. I'm not a fan of them, but definitely see this week an opportunity. So that's all of my call outs for week 16. I appreciate everyone looking at the videos. If you have any questions or any comments, please put those down into the bottom of the video. Like and subscribe. I appreciate everyone watching. Again, look out for some more videos coming from me, and hopefully see you all soon. Thank you very much.